Hey everybody, how's it going? I've spent a lot of time here talking about the mental game, and I think those of you who have been following me for a while, and certainly if you have, taken some of my courses and now you're trading on your own, you're really starting to see how important the mental game is. I think that's really sinking in, and for those of you who are trading, I think you would probably admit that it's the mental game aspect that has been responsible for your success as traders. I get a lot of either comments here or emails from people saying, Mike, before I met you, I was never really profitable. And then I started listening to what you were saying, and I bought the course, and now I really start to see through the mental game. It has completely turned my trading around, and now I'm successful. And I've also used in the past the analogy of athletics and sports, how we as traders, we need to encompass or incorporate the same sort of mindset as top level athletes. Now, I don't know if some of you are fight fans, and in particular, I'm talking about MMA, mixed martial arts, and the UFC. I love that. I train Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. But if you saw the fight this past weekend on Saturday, the Conor McGregor Nate Diaz fight, it was an amazing fight. Both guys really taken to the limit, and just an amazing fight. But afterwards, some of the comments that I read, there was a comment from Conor McGregor, and also there was a comment from, not from Nate Diaz, but from Donald Cerrone, who was on the card as well that night, and he had a fantastic victory over Rick Story. But Conor McGregor, in the post-fight interview, he was saying, like, it never gets easy. We train hard. It never gets easy, and it's an emotional roller coaster. He said the highs are very, very high, and the lows are very, very low. He was talking. He was referring to his loss to Nate Diaz on the last fight that he had with him, the first fight where he got choked out in the second round. But I thought that was interesting how he said, the highs are very, very high and the lows are low. We feel that too when, making a profit or coming back from a losing position because we managed it correctly and we employed the right mental game. And that gives you a tremendous high. And the lows are very, very low when we had to struggle through that crude oil trade, which was not going in our direction. And you have to just kind of suck up that emotion and find a way to deal with that. Same sort of comment from Donald Cerrone, who said he was talking about how, the stress of fighting, and the anxiety he feels leading up to a fight, but then when the outcome, when he wins, that feeling of elation. And he says, every day I feel like I want to quit. I just don't want to go through the stress anymore. I don't want to go through that anxiety. I don't want to go through the difficulty and the rigor of training. And I feel like I want to quit every day. So these are some of the same feelings and emotions that maybe some of you have. And I've said this before. I've been doing this for almost 40 years. It never gets easy. But the point is, we can master ourselves. We can sort of corral those feelings. We can control them. And that is really the secret to coming out at the other end being very, very successful. All right? We're never going to eradicate completely those feelings of stress and anxiety and emotion. We try to keep them under control. We certainly don't want to become bipolar in any sense where we have super highs and super lows. We want to stay on an even keel. I talk about that all the time. Try to stay on an even keel. Some of you email me or send me text messages, and I point that out. If I see that in you, if I see that behavior in you, I say, okay, just, bring it down a notch. Take it down. Stay cool, calm, and collected. Everything, don't get too high and never get too low. If you can master yourself, how many times have I said, this is a game against yourself? Sure, we take money from the ignorant people, from the zombies. We take money from them all the time. As a matter of fact, I've even said some of the demise of the big shots out there, the Paul Tudor Joneses and the Paulsons and the Soroses, that was because of us. Okay, we take some of their money. It's mathematical. But by the same token, and even though you could say, well, isn't that a game against us, against them? It's not. It's only a game against ourselves. So, it's like we're in the fight game. And in order to be a winner, in order to be a champion, it requires that mental toughness. It requires that self-control. It requires the ability to corral your emotions. Sure, you're going to feel it. It's okay that you're going to feel it. You have to understand that. You're going to feel it. It's never going to go away. But you got to keep that under control. And the most important thing is, when you feel it, you've got to move forward. You've got to execute the way you're supposed to execute, dispassionately, rationally, calmly. And if you do that with consistency, and try not to make mistakes, because mistakes are all mental mistakes, okay? That's the only way you can be defeated in this game, is by defeating yourself, mental mistakes. So, we are in that same boat, really, the same league as these top-level athletes in terms of the traits and the characteristics, certainly the mental traits and the mental characteristics we need to have in order to win. So think about those comments. Even the top champions, they're feeling the same thing. They want to quit. They hate the stress. They hate the anxiety. They hate the fear. These guys are scared. They admit it when they go into that octagon. So it's okay to feel that way, but you have to keep control of it. And if you can do that, if you can master yourself, the game becomes easy. Because as you have seen from listening to me and observing, that the whole world out there, the zombies, the 100%, they don't have a clue. Taking their money is easy. It's easy. The only thing that can get in the way of that is you. Remember that. So keep working on that. But it's okay to feel that stress and feel that emotion. Even top-level athletes feel that all the time. We're in the same game. See you later. Bye-bye.